Harmony 1 is on track to complete its cup and handle pattern that has formed on the daily chart. In this video, guys, we're going to be diving down into the Harmony 1 protocol, specifically the price action of the one coin. We're going to be taking a look to see exactly what has been going on with the daily chart and the hourly chart, really confirm exactly what is likely to happen next here with Harmony 1. As we get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit that like button. We really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗏𝒀𝒀. With this said, done and out of the way, let's dive down into the charts and really talk about what's going on and why we are seeing such a huge push to the upside with Harmony 1 right now. So guys, we're going to just really focus in on the daily chart to start with, and we really want to talk about is something that we've been kind of communicating with you guys for a while now, and that is this huge cup and handle pattern that has formed on our daily chart, okay? And this has a pretty clear target of 33 to 34 cents, okay? And basically this huge cup and handle has something that has been basically started way back in March of 2021, when we originally saw the big pullback from Bitcoin from 65k to 28k, Harmony 1 bringing down from 22 cent down to 4.7. This was the bottom of our cup, and then we started to rise up nicely in the month of August, and then obviously we started to pull back down in the month of September in that self-fulfilling prophecy, expecting a pullback in September, and that's exactly what we saw. This basically completed the handle to our cup and handle, and now we're looking to push right the way to the upside and reach the end goal of this particular pattern, which comes in between 33.3 cents and 34 cents, okay? So right now, if we actually just pull this back out for a second, we can see that the 33 cents is exactly the 1.618 area of the Fibonacci retracement with the very first extension. Now, this particular area is almost the exact spot from the high of the right-hand side of our cup and the low of our actual pullback in the bottom of the cup, if you will. This measurement here allows us to see the growth of this wave to the upside coming in just over and above that 1.618 area, taking the left of our cup and the bottom of our cup into consideration. So the performance of the left side of the cup and the right side of the cup are almost exactly equal, allowing this to be a very, very neat and tidy cup and handle, looking to push us nicely towards that 33 cents. As we can see, we've had good progress so far, finding a little bit of resistance on 26.6 cents as we set a new all-time high just a few days ago. We had a pullback, taking us down to some key levels, and I'm going to go into those on the smaller time frame to see exactly where support is being found right now and what we could expect to happen next as we continue our growth towards that 33-34 cent target. Overall, this daily chart for Harmony 1 is looking very, very tidy. It's very much in line with the progress of what we've seen so far. We have seen over 18,900% in gains from March 2020 through to March 2021. And again, we are looking for significant gains to be made in the latter part of this year as we finish off this bull run in a nice strong way for Harmony 1. Okay, so obviously as we pull this down from that Fibonacci, the 1.618 is of course a cup and handle target, but there are a few additional targets that go above and beyond this. The 2.618 comes in at 51 cents. Okay, the 3.618 comes in at 68 cents, and we top out with the 4.236 extension at 79.7 cents. The big question on everyone's lips, though, is whether or not we're going to overextend this and actually hit and achieve that $1 level. Okay, so a $1 Harmony definitely seems to be a nice psychological barrier that probably has a lot of sell orders associated with it. So this is an area that we obviously have to be quite cautious with. But again, a small kind of overextension from that 4.236 is something that I do think we could potentially see. I anticipate us actually pushing up higher than $1? Probably not in this cycle, if I'm being brutally honest. With that being said, though, things can change. Right now, the technicals only take into consideration things that have already happened and do not take into consideration new progress that is being made, new levels of adoption, new levels of partnerships, etc. So we could see a potential change and shift with Harmony 1 protocol that could overextend above and beyond that dollar. But right now, I am not seeing that. And what we are actually looking at in the charts is indicating 79.7 with a potential possible scenario to wick above that towards the $1 level. But I think that would be the limit at the moment. Overall, though, if you were buying Harmony 1 when we were first talking about it at sub 1 cent, then obviously that's going to allow for very significant gains. We are talking about from the current position to the top of 79.7 cents, another 260%. So again, quite a few gains left on the table here, even if you're a late adopter of this protocol. Of course, we had the privilege of being able to accumulate more Harmony 1 at the bottom of our cup, and for anyone who is delegating to the Cheeky One pool, you're also earning more Harmony 1 rewards every single day. So it's a good way to make your crypto work for you and to build a pretty good position with Harmony 1 during this bull run. Of course, we will be locking in profits in this particular bull run on the way up and accumulating heavily more Harmony 1 in the bear market on the way down. The expectation should be that we lose 70 to 90% of the value during the bear market. Now, that's not going to happen instantaneously. Things do not move in straight lines. In fact, they bounce all over the place, and they're usually full of waves. And ultimately, on that way down, we're going to find several key areas to accumulate more Harmony 1 before we actually find the bottom of the bear market and go back into the bull run for 2025. So if that's your kind of bag, do make sure you pay attention, make sure you've subscribed, and we'll be going through a lot of that stuff with you guys in the bear market on this channel. So do make sure you hang around for that. Right now, obviously, everything's looking very bullish, and we are talking about going up to pretty significant price discovery for Harmony 1. And again, this is something that I do anticipate being pretty good for many players in the space who were able to accumulate either at the low of wave 4 or even potentially at the high of wave 3, now taking it and talking about moving up towards the 79-cent zones. And again, locking in profits across these key areas on these Fibonacci charts is a pretty good strategy as well. And again, if you miss all of that, you can sell on the way down, but usually you wait for that bounce and then sell another key area. So do hang around for that if we do end up missing the top of the bull run. Overall, everything's looking pretty good right now, and we are talking about pretty good growth in this bullish sentiment as we approach that 33 cents. Obviously, things don't move in straight lines. We do see ourselves with lots of little kind of mini corrections, and we have seen one recently, and I'm going to go into the detail of the support levels in just a moment. But before we do that, we are going to jump down into the Evayio dashboard to talk about the underlying value of Harmony 1. For those who are unfamiliar, Evayio uses artificial intelligence and machine learning to help us understand the underlying value of cryptocurrencies. There's a link in the description down below, guys, and I do urge you to go check it out. Sign up, it's completely free, and you're going to get a lot more detail on your cryptocurrencies than you would normally just get from charts. This is a key pieces of information that really help you make more informed decisions and kind of make sure you don't panic when you don't need to as well. So I'm going to dive into Harmony 1 here. We can see that we're an A3 cryptocurrency overall. That's top tier. So there's only A1, A2, A3. So it's the third best rating that a cryptocurrency can get. So we're talking top tier cryptocurrency according to this artificial intelligence right now. And as we come down, we get a little bit more detail into some of the things that are actually going on in the background. We have an AMI-HAD ratio and an A2 rating. AMI-HAD is your liquidity, and right now we're showing no problems with liquidity for Harmony 1 whatsoever, which is fantastic. Considering so many other altcoins in the space are experiencing problems with liquidity, it's good to see that Harmony 1 has not been affected by it. This means that we should be free to continue that motion to the upside. We also have a fear and greed index. This is not the Bitcoin fear and greed index that you usually see all over YouTube and Twitter and all that kind of good stuff. This is a Harmony 1 specific fear and greed index driven from the artificial intelligence and machine learning. And this allows you to know whether or not Harmony 1 is greedy or fearful. And right now, we have an A3 cryptocurrency rating for the Fear and Greed Index for Harmony. This basically means that actually you're pretty greedy right now, and we're going to start seeing people chasing those green candles and see potentially some FOMO into Harmony right now and to continue that push to the upside. With this being said, though, it's important that we also acknowledge what usually happens when the market is greedy, and that is that the seasoned traders will be taking profits at these points. Again, they'll be looking for the key levels, coupling the greedy scenario with, of course, good support and resistance levels within the charts, making sure they're mapping the trends, which is what we try to do on this channel as well. So it's good to know that we have no problems with liquidity, and the Fear and Greed Index is actually on the cusp of extreme greed. We're greedy, not extremely greedy, but we're getting there. Okay, so it's important that we acknowledge what's going on. As we come down, we have a Sharpe ratio. The Sharpe ratio is your risk-reward ratio. This is an A2 rating right now. So this is basically saying that the rewards outweigh the risks, and that you might want some exposure to Harmony 1 right now. Again, this is a key metric, specifically when we start talking about is there fear or is there greed in the space, and the Sharpe ratio showing you your rewards and your risks elements. So right now, we're above the 50-day average in a pretty good way, and basically the platform here, this artificial intelligence, is indicating that we might want some exposure to Harmony 1. Now, for me personally, I'm not a financial advisor, nor is Chris, so it's important that you do your own research. Signing up to Evayio might just be a part of your research and things that you need to do to make sure you're comfortable with your cryptocurrency investments. And guys, for a free platform, this gives you an awful lot of bang for your buck, as in it's free. So definitely do go ahead, check out the link down below and sign up, because this gives you that kind of level of insight to know whether or not you're going to be buying up the fear that's available, or whether or not that's the fear that you want to potentially be skipping out on. In the case of Harmony right now, we've got good risk reward ratio, as in the rewards outweigh the risks, and we want some exposure to Harmony, and the market is looking greedy right now. The profitability over this side of the chart, this is looking at an A1 rating, the best profitability that the platform can give, and again looking very, very good from that kind of perspective, right? So the ROI is looking very tidy. The moving averages are an A2. Overall, there are no problems with the underlying data for Harmony One right now, and again, this platform updates this particular ratings every single 24 hours. Midnight, every day this gets updated, so you get insight as to know what is likely to happen next on that particular day. And this artificial intelligence has been right more times than I can count, guys. So do check it out. I do seriously encourage you guys to pay attention to what Evayio are doing. With that being said, we had that good cup and handle. We've got good progress towards that 33 cent. The underlying data isn't going to be a barrier to any of that. So let's take a look at that hourly view. What is going on within our hourly view that could potentially show us good areas of support and resistance, right? So we have set that 26.6 cent area just at the top here. This was the new all-time high and the resistance that we've hit, right? Just here. Okay, then we started to pull back down. Now, this yellow box area was my initial kind of area for basically buying this dip. Okay, so initially we surged up to this point just here. We then bought this dip here, took it to this new all-time high, and then we slipped back into this area. Now this area that was previously a good area of support has actually turned into a new area of resistance, right? So we can see that we're basically unable to hold this area. We have slipped down to this area here, bringing us into lows of 21.7 cent. But again, this is now above our previous area of support of 21 cent, and 21 cent has been holding quite well. And every time we've hit this 21 cent area, like a rocket, we've moved to the upside. Okay, but we should acknowledge that there is a downward trend forming here. And this is going to be one of those things that we're going to have to make sure that we absolutely nail. And I do think this is something that we are likely to pierce on through in this next run. As we can see, that stochastic RSI is in the oversold area. Right now at 4.4, approaching the 0 level, we should be looking to move up nicely. And again, according to that artificial intelligence, we're looking greedy. And as a result of that, if we throw the volumes on here, we actually see the price falling down and we see the volume decreasing. That sentiment pretty much is aligned to saying that there are not so many people willing to sell right now, and more people are willing to buy. So as we approach this oversold area, specifically as we approach the area of support of 21.8 cent, this is going to be an area that we start to see a significant push to the upside. And the key here will be breaching this downward trend that's formed between the all-time high and, of course, the push that we had on the 13th of October at 8 a.m., pushing us up to those high areas. And again, being rejected from there. So right now, everything's looking like pretty good for Harmony One. We're looking to push up towards our trend line, pushing past our trend line. And again, I anticipate a back test to turn that into a support before going up to new all-time highs, back testing on the new all-time high, and then progressing up towards 33 cent. Overall, everything's looking pretty good, but do expect this volatility that you see here, this kind of trading pattern to occur in these kind of greedy scenarios. You see us hitting resistance, seasoned traders basically cashing in on that, and then buying it back up. And again, this is the kind of move that looks exactly like that. Seasoned traders buying the greed, or selling the greed, and buying the fear, and then continuing this push to the upside. And again, what we're looking for here right now is to basically bottom this out towards our 21.8 cent area, or where's 21.8? Let me just check. Yeah, 21.8 cent, and then continue this growth to the upside overall. If we're ever in doubt on the volatility of the daily chart, do zoom out. Pay attention to what is going on with that daily or even the weekly chart, right? Because on the daily chart, we can see significant kind of progress being made with a huge cup and handle, and that's targeting that 33 to 34 cent zone. And on our weekly chart, guys, we can really pay attention to the bigger moves that are going on with the 5 impulse waves to the upside. These 5 impulse waves, guys, are taking us towards 79.7 cent overall. And again, this was triggered back in March of 2020. Good progress being made on these waves to the upside overall. Guys, I'm going to leave the video there. Hopefully you have found this useful and informative. If you have, hit that like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, then do go ahead and subscribe. Tap that bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will not miss another update here at Cheeky Crypto. With this said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.